On July 2nd, 1955, the Pan American Flight 914 took off from New York to Maimi, Florida on a beautiful sunny afternoon with 57 passengers on board and 4 crew members. They looked forward to see the beautiful beaches and palm trees of Miami. But when they ought to have arrived at their destination airport 3 hours later, something strange happened. The plane got missing. When the air traffic control contacted the New York Tower, they got the scary news. Flight 914 disappeared from the radar mid-air. But something strange happened. 37 years later, after flying for almost half a century, the plane landed safely and everyone was okay. Another strange thing is that they never grew a day older than they were 37 years ago. It's your aviator, Captain Austin. Listen to the end while I explain how it all happened. Life is full of mysteries and many of them are never solved. Some puzzles defy space and time, common sense and probability, and this story is one of those mysteries that defied belief and intrigued many people for many years. On this fateful day, the flight took off with 57 passengers and 4 crew members, and something strange happened that changed the life of everyone on board the plane. Without any communication or distress call, Flight 914 disappeared from the radar and the air traffic controllers couldn't establish any communication with them. The DC-4 simply vanished into the thin air without leaving any trace of communication with the pilot or anyone on board. Investigation commenced right away. The Coast Guard was deployed to scan the Atlantic Ocean since that was the flight route. But there was no luck. Not a single piece of the lost plane was found. Investigators could only shrug their shoulders in dismay. 61 passengers just blinked out of existence along with the huge flying machine. Eventually, the case was never solved. There was an official statement that the plane crashed into the ocean and the lives of everyone was gone. The airline compensated the families of those that lost their loved ones. 37 years later, change of scenery. It is now September 9, 1992 in Caracas, Venezuela International Airport. Out of seemingly nowhere, the aircraft popped out of the radar without any prior communication with the air traffic controller. In less than 5 minutes, the aircraft showed up clearly. At first, it looked like an ordinary aircraft, but as it got closer, lo and behold, it was the ancient DC-4 McDonnell Douglas passenger aircraft, still with propellers instead of the modern turbines. But it wasn't much of a concern. The real confusion began when the pilot of the mysterious aircraft contacted the control tower and spoke in English. "Where are we?" And the controller replied that they were in Caracas International Airport, Venezuela, and asked to find out where they were heading to. And the pilot replied, "We are Pan American Flight 914 heading from New York to Florida with 57 passengers on board and 4 crew members." And this took the controller completely off guard. What was Pan American Flight doing 1,000 miles away from its destination? The controller probed further for further clarification. And what he even had baffled him the more. The pilot said that his flight was scheduled to land at Miami Airport 1 p.m. July 2nd, 1955. Now, the traffic controller fell into silence. He didn't know what to make of the pilot's words. He thought that he has completely gone insane. Before asking further questions, in order not to complicate the issues, he has to inform his colleagues about the whole drama. They agreed to clear the plane safely for landing, since the mysterious plane is carrying 61 human beings. After the plane has landed safely, the controller then contacted the pilot on radio and asked him, "Do you know today is May 21st, 1992? The pilot then responded, "What are you talking about?" He started the engine immediately and took off the plane without any clearance. The traffic controller tried to stop him since he was creating a dangerous situation in the airspace, but he vanished. Words could not explain the experience that the traffic controller had with his colleagues, and it seemed like a collective hallucination. Furthermore, this story intrigued conspiracy theorists and alien aviation apologists for many years. A lot of people believed this story same way they believed the Bermuda Triangle myth. Back in 1985, a newspaper called the Weekly World News was the first to cover it. Yes, I just said 1985. That was 7 years before the most popular version appeared. Later, the same newspaper retold this story twice. Some news tabloids wrote that the passengers returned safely to their homes, and strangely, none of them looked older than they were 37 years ago. They said the doctors examined the passengers and the crew members, and they couldn't find anything extraordinary about them. Rather, they were all looking very healthy. In conclusion, it's good we have to appreciate the fact that not every information you see in the media is valid and true. Learn how to double-check and verify your facts to ascertain its credibility and authenticity. It's your aviator, Captain Austin. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, share and like. See you next week for another interesting presentation. Bye.